Good morning, welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the 0 to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay, so today we have been farming up all of the old world areas, so raids. This is classic raids, of course, or vanilla raids, whatever you want to call them. And pretty much we have done all of them. Well, done them all prior, but I wanted to jump on my Demon Hunter as well, because we are going to do a run through of one of the raids that I haven't actually done yet, because obviously I've done the Molten Core run through, Blackwing Lair. We're going to do the Temple of Encourage in a minute. Now, that being the case, the things that we actually managed to get, which actually took us an hour and 15 minutes, that was me half-arsing it to get around to different places. Now, that being the case, the things of note that we actually managed to get a hold of is 2 Bloods of the Mountain. We also got 1 arcane crystal. That's from killing Nefarian. When you open his bag of gems, you have a chance of getting a load of high-end gems. Arcane crystals, 350 gold for 1. That's pretty awesome. May want to jump on that Silithus farm again for arcane crystals. But aside from that, we also got a few more Black Dragon scales, because one of my other characters, brackets my shaman, is a skinner as well. So we managed to get quite a lot of those as well. And we got some more Elementium ingots, along with a few bits of transmog that I know will probably sell, in all honesty. Like the Direwing leg guards, which are 110 gold, but their sell rate is at 0.03. It's still worth me actually selling those, because most of those ones tend to sell rather fast in the grand scheme of things. Now, the other things of note is just lava cores and fiery cores. We didn't kill all of the trash in the molten core, but I just picked off the ones that were brackets. If it was in my way, I killed it and then looted it. We also got Essence of Fire, which isn't worth all that much, Elemental Earth, and we got a few more skins and leathers going forward. These little skins of leathers, so the light leather and the medium leather, was ranking up my classic leather working, and that tended to be quite alright, because we actually got quite a decent amount going moving forward. And that being the case, just the last thing of note is another pattern. Obviously, I've been big on patterns the last day or so, and that is a pattern of the Mooncloth shoulders. It has a sell rate of 0.01. Yeah, pretty much standard for a classic or BC recipes. They have a low sell rate, so you would treat them as such, like transmog. And that is how you primarily would sell these types of recipes. You treat them like high-end transmog if they're worth an awful lot. And this is worth 11,616 gold on the min buyout for this one recipe. So overall, not too bad, pretty awesome to be honest. Really chuffed with the Bloods of the Mountain, and let's just value it, and it is at 17,652 gold. So not really too bad for like an hour and 15 minutes to actually run all of those. But aside from that, let's just jump into the Temple of Encourage. Okay, so going into this raid, we are going to be currently just gathering up all of the mobs at the beginning and then running over to the boss. There are 3 bosses that we want to pay attention to. These are the first boss, which is the Prophet, and what he drops is the Mini Mind Slayer Battle Pet. Now, this one isn't worth all that much, but it's a nice little uptick every now and then if you do get it. The other things of note on this actual raid is just make sure that you kill the boss immediately, otherwise he does this weird, annoying thing, which is just really, really painful. And as you can tell, I'm actually just standard clicking, because I don't want to pick up any resonating crystals, because they are annoying to actually just get out of your bag. And just like that, we have another Mini Mind Slayer Battle Pet overall. So that being the case, let's just learn that one and then go into our pet journal and then save it. I still have another Mini Mind Slayer, sweet. I have quite a lot of battle pets, that's not the point. But at the end of the day, let's just move on with that and just crack on. And I don't know where my Mini Mind Slayer went, and it's Ha. Overall, most of the trash doesn't actually drop an awful lot of BOE greens that are worth a lot. That would be the Ruins of Encourage. That one is a brilliant one. If you don't kill any of the bosses and you just kill the trash, drops a lot of high-end classic gear that you can then sell on the auction house if you're into transmog farming, of course. But aside from that, what we'll do is we'll completely negate these guys. They don't drop anything, and just try and get around these guys over here. The only ones that will actually drop anything are just like the bigger ones, the bigger actual insects. And this is where my shadow meld actually comes into play quite nicely, because I can just bypass a load of different mechanics that are going to annoy me. And I know this boss is going to interact with me, so we'll just kill him right now, because that will do my nut in. And yeah, just make sure he's dead, and then just pick out whatever we want from him. We want to vendor all of his loot, but at the end of the day, not overly too bad. So when we're in here, there is no way around this. We're going to be aggroing these things, and this is where my Shadow Mail will actually come into play, because I don't really want to spend ages trying to kill them. Now, going through here, it's very unlikely that I will actually not aggro anything, but at the moment we seem to be doing quite fine. And then, as I said, that we've just gathered a load of aggro, and pretty much all of them will start clustering and trying to attack you and all of that jazz. Just keep going until you actually get over to the following boss, and then we can just go from there. Now, they do have a daze mechanic where it just reduces your run speed for a minute if they do hit you, which they did for me just a second ago, and it's kind of annoying. It's called debilitating charge. It reduces my movement speed by 60%, so currently I'm riding a 40% mount. And now we just press Shadow Meld, go invisible, and no problems as of yet. All we got to do now is just realign and then head to this boss here. Seriously, he is just a one shot. You just loot him after that, take anything that he has, and kill any ads that are attacking him. The next thing that we're going to be wanting to do is make our way over to our key boss. So there's 3 key bosses. We've already killed the first one, which is the Prophet, and we can pull that up in the dungeon journal for the raids. And if we go into Classic and then go into the Temple of Encourage, it was the Prophet Skerum. The next person that we're actually going to be finding is Vesidus, and we're going to do a nice little run through on how you can actually kill this guy, because he is near on impossible. Well, he is impossible without frost damage. So Vesidus is a massive globule that is on the ground. He's on his own, and what you actually need is a way in order to deal frost damage. Now, the most easiest way that I've found, I know there's multiple different ways, but this is one I found quite useful, and that is just getting a low-end weapon such as an assassination blade and enchanting that with elemental force, or any other weapon that's under level 60. Just enchant it with elemental force, and that produces the frost damage you need to kill him. You need to at least attack him with like 30 physical attacks and 30 frost attacks, and then you shall be able to kill him. If you do not actually deal any frost damage, he will not die, and you'll be in a never-ending fight where he will come out the victor. So obviously he's going to start attacking us. We're just going to keep pressing our standard attack, because that's all we need to do, is just create loads of damaging effects, and he'll start to turn colour if you're doing the job right. And what will happen now is we'll just make sure that we're actually going to crit, and then he will start turning blue, and then just keep doing that. It will tell you in your chat box that he is freezing up, and then all you got to do is, once he's frozen, you got to do as many physical attacks as possible and just make sure that he dies. And then it will tell you that he's cracking, and then boom, 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 and then you should be able to break him. He's ready to shatter, and then all we got to do then is just keep on going with those. He finally dies, and what do we get from it? Is not the Vesidus Globule. This guy drops one of the most rarest battle pets for old world raids, and it is worth a great deal because he has to be killed by a certain mechanic, which is i.e. frost damage. And the Vesidus Globule goes for a hell of a lot of gold. If we pull it up in our dungeon journal right now, go over to Vesidus, he actually drops it at a 10% drop chance, and it's worth a hell of a lot of gold. Seriously, the Temple of Encourage, if you ran it with all of your ults, being able to kill Viscidus, you would easily get the battle pet every week on all of your ults, well, on one of your ults at least, and it's worth a great deal. At the moment for me, it's worth around about 11,000 gold on my realm, but that's 11,000 for literally just a 2-minute fight, because it's not hard to get over here and run in and just kill these guys. This is seriously, if you are a lazy gold maker, you can go for the Viscidus Globule and it will make you a decent amount of gold, because it sells relatively fast in the grand scheme of battle pets. And I don't really talk about battle pets all that much when it comes to which ones are the best, but in my experience, the Viscidus Globule actually sells relatively fast, and it is very easy to get a hold of once you know how to do that. So quickly, we'll just switch back to our other blade, which is our Warglaives back on, and then we can now just run over and just go to the other bosses. You can completely bypass this next boss if you really want to. If you want to get another 10 gold in vendoring stuff, you can, but you can just go past this person and then just turn to the left as we're going through, because we're going to be going to the Twin Emperors next, and they drop a battle pet which is called the Anubiseth Idol, and that one is worth a lot of gold as well. It's not worth a stupid amount of gold, but it's worth a moderate amount of gold, and it drops even more so than Viscidus, and I kind of like it because of that fact. Now, that being the case, Cthulhu doesn't drop anything, Uro doesn't drop anything. You're really just going in here just for the battle pets, and if you get any greens, good for you. That is pretty much the premise of the Temple of Encourage, but all of the other classic raids are worth a great deal when it comes to old world transmogs and all that jazz. So with the Twin Emperors, just run over to the guy on the right hand side if you're physical attacks. If you're using any form of spell damage, you go to the guy on the left and then you kill them. That is because you can't kill one of them with physical attacks and one with the magical attacks. So the guy on the right is for physical attacks and the guy on the left is for magical attacks in order to kill them. Now this one's relatively okay, and I just failed to do that. And what we are going to head for is just try and see if we can get a hold of any of these things. And let's check. We did not actually get the battle pet, unfortunately. That's a bit of a bummer, but not to worry. I'm not overly too fussed when it comes to all of that jazz. But that being the case, guys, that is pretty much what we farmed up for the day. Let's now jump over and go straight to the gold for the day. Okay, and the gold for the day is a healthy amount of 16,736 gold. The things of note that we actually sold is 9 more Greater Flasks of Vast Horizon for 3,831 gold, and a Fiery Chain Shoulders, which was a crafted transmog we did a while back, for 9,996 gold, bringing our total up to 16,736 gold by selling some of the medium leather, bare flank, crimson spinal, all the other different stuff. We actually sold some low-end glyphs as well. So pull that in, not too bad, not too shabby. We have just gone over the 700,000 gold mark, so that's pretty damn good. It's going to take us a little bit more to start pulling in some higher numbers every day when it comes to just standardized farming. Now we could always go with the BFA stuff, such as like Dredge Leather or Xenanthid, but at this moment in time Xenanthid seems to have dropped in price dramatically to about 7,485 gold. It's not overly too worth it, to be honest, to actually do that. And the same with Dredge Leather, it's at 9,000 gold. I can definitely go into my farms and just go straight and have a look at what else is decent on my realm, which is Dreamleaf selling really well, Ajara's Veil, Whiptail, Ethereal, any of those ones I could probably do and pull in a lot more gold, as their sell rates are pretty much near on around about 0.3, which is brilliant when it comes to herbs and mining materials. And we could also have a look at which ones on the fishing and the skinning that are going to be going. But But overall, this has been a pretty damn good day. I am looking forward to tomorrow's weekly highlight overall, and I've got to repost some of these things over here. But other than that, we are currently sat at 710,379 goals. So I'm pretty damn happy on the way things are going thus far. And hopefully we can pull in some bigger numbers by doing some bigger farms moving forward. But aside from that, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.